Hey everyone, this is DyanaRozay. Welcome to my channel. This is a recap and commentary for Season 5, Episode 1. It was called Whit-Low Priorities, and I will give this episode like a B-. There were some real moments, but there were also some, overproduced moments. So I'm going to tell y'all all about it. Please like, subscribe, hit your notification bell, and I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Now let's get into it. So the scene picks up exactly where it left off. Martell brings the kids to see Melody host the grand opening of the amphitheater. In the scene, there is a lot of discomfort, uncomfortableness between them, and they omitted the flashback of them as a married couple. So if you guys remember last season, we got to see that flashback. Well, they didn't do it here, but now we know why they were so uncomfortable. They hadn't seen each other since that court-appointed investigation involving the kids. So now we understand why, but as quickly as Martell sat down, he got up and said that he was going to rejoin the kids. In confessional, he said that being around Melody makes him nervous because she pushes his buttons and things can go left quickly. And after Martell leaves the room, you see Melody do this really big exhale, like she was just holding her breath and hoping that nothing off the wall happened. Then Melody's mom entered the room and she says that she is surprised that Martell actually showed up and brought the kids. Melody just nods her head and say, yeah, me too. In confessional, she said that her mother was really affected by the divorce because she loved Martell like he was her own. And then Martell admits that seeing Melody follow her dreams is bittersweet for him. And we all know why, okay? So let's get to the next scene. Martell and his mother, Miss Marlene. So for continuity, I've rearranged the scenes, but you guys will get it. Martell and his mom are on their way to pick the kids up from school, actually. I believe it's their last day of school. And on the drive, he is telling his mom about how him and the kids went to support Mel at the amphitheater. He made it a point of saying it was his week with the kids and how he thought it was the right thing to do. And he's still feeling a way about Melody not taking those kids to the book signing, even though we all know there was an investigation preventing all that. And Marlene was blowing like a windsock in the scene. She starts off by saying that she understands why Melody was upset. Then from that, she goes to, well, you're a good father and you do a lot for those kids and everybody goes through something in life. And Martell's just sitting there with this stupid, satisfied look on his face where you can just tell he takes no accountability for any of it. Then Marlene goes on a rant about how she didn't like that Melody went on social media, saying that she said things against her and her mother. And Miss Marlene isn't even on social media, so all of that mess was fed to her by Martell. But the show gives us a flashback of her saying things, nasty things, about Melody and Melody's mother. Then Martell pretends to be a peacemaker, talking about we all have to get along for the sake of the kids. Then they finally arrive at the school, the kids jump in the car, and that's how that scene ends. Next, we have Melody. She visits Stormy at her house. They go to the Zen room. Then Melody talks about her ex popping up at the amphitheater. She said that she was very surprised to see him, but that she hopes it's a step in the right direction for co-parenting. She also said that she hasn't talked to her former mother-in-law since 2001. She tells Stormy what exactly broke that relationship down. And she said that she understands that even though they were once really close, her and Martell are divorced now. Those bonds are broken and she has to live in that reality. Stormy's giving her a, are you sure you don't want to work it out face? And Melody is giving her a yes, I am consciously choosing not to live in La La Land. Marlene has just as many problems, if not more, than Martell, so the answer is no. So the last scene is the couples retreat with Dr. Francis and his wife. Kimmy and Maurice, Tiffany and Louis, they arrive first. Tisha and Marceau are very late. Kimmy calls to check on them, and after she hangs up, she says that she doesn't believe Marceau knows the real purpose of the trip. Then Tiffany makes a joke and said that Marceau doesn't like to be peer pressured, and she asked Kimmy if she thought Marceau would leave if he felt pushed, and that immediately put Kimmy in a bad mood. She made a face like, here we go. If this heifer don't stop talking to me, I am going to lose it. Then Tiffany excuses herself to take a work call, and Dr. Francis is put off by it. He's like, listen, me and my wife cleared our calendars to be here for you guys. why are you all doing other things? Why are you late? Why are you taking calls? Like, you're supposed to be here too. Well, we all know that Tiffany actually has plans to leave early, so that phone call ain't nothing. But Kimmy's actually enjoying that Dr. Francis is going after Tiffany and Lewis. And every time Dr. Francis take a look at the Whitlows, Kimmy takes a look at the Whitlows. Then Tisha and Marcel finally arrive. When they pull up, Dr. Francis and his wife are on the porch, and they immediately say, after Tisha gets out the car, there's something wrong. They look unhappy. Tisha and Marcel, they actually share that during their drive in, Tisha received news that a good friend of hers had passed away. And Marcel consoles her, but it's a hard scene to connect to. And I'm going to leave it there. But now that all the couples are in attendance, they go back into the house. Dr. Francis put Tiff and Lewis back into the hot seat. But Lewis and Tiffany have an answer for everything, and that seems to piss Kimmy off. But I think she might be having a PTSD reaction because honestly, Maurice also has an answer for everything. And she was going after Tiffany and Lewis just a little bit too hard when her and Maurice are sitting on a mountaintop full of problems. So then Dr. Francis have them play a game. They tie their legs together, one of their legs together, and they become a three-legged couple. So the legs that are tied together is supposed to represent how inseparable they are as a couple. And then the leg that's free is supposed to represent how much independence they have in the marriage. So compared to the other couples, Tisha and Marcel are moving along with ease, no problems whatsoever, and they are taking this as a good or positive sign. In confessional, Tisha's like, well, we were doing a great job because we've been married for 16 years and we just know each other. When in actuality, based on how Dr. Francis described the exercise, Marcel was leading Tisha, and Tisha was willingly allowing herself to be led. She had no independence whatsoever. With Kimmy and Maurice, Kimmy felt like Maurice was too forceful with how he was directing or leading her, meaning that Maurice wanted her to be more inseparable with him. And Kimmy was fighting for more independence. And she vocalized it every step of the way, too. And with Tiffany and Lewis, Tiffany told Lewis when she wanted to be inseparable and when she wanted her own independence. And Lewis just followed the order. It was like he didn't have any say-so whatsoever. So based on the exercise, Lewis and Tiffany didn't seem to be connected to each other at all. Tiffany is so afraid of loss that she doesn't know how to be vulnerable enough to connect to anything. And Lewis is so afraid of losing Tiffany, or he's so afraid of feeling pain that he will do whatever Tiffany tells him to do to avoid it altogether. So in the last scene, the couple sit for dinner, and Tiffany brings up that she wants another baby, but she's not sure where Lewis stands. She said she doesn't want to do it if Lewis doesn't want to do it. Lewis gives this nicely packaged answer about wanting to move forward with having a baby too, but them having to decide whether they're having a baby of their own or if they're going to adopt, because Tiffany was an adopted child. Dr. Francis asked Tiffany what age she was when she went to foster care, and she said that she was an infant. And then she also shared that her foster parents were both addicted to drugs during the early years of her life. Dr. Francis told Tiffany that she struggles with the capacity to attach or distance herself. He said you had 3 major losses in your life: the loss of her birth parents, the loss of her foster parents because they were unavailable due to drugs, and then the loss of her first husband because she divorced him. Then he told her that she also feared the loss of Lewis, and her want for a baby was just assurance that she wouldn't be alone. And the entire time that Dr. Francis was telling her this, Tiffany was crying like a faucet. In confessional, Tiffany said that she had never been told this before, but that Dr. Francis was right. Then Marceau asked Lewis if he thought having a baby would cramp his sex life. Now, Marceau totally asked this question to keep Lewis in the hot seat. He actually had glee in his eyes when he said it. Then Lewis gives a philosophical answer like, well, you know, babies are going to come in your life and we're going to have to make adjustments. Dr. Francis is like, listen, you are afraid to be vulnerable. You are afraid to feel pain. But Lewis isn't ready to hear any of this. So then Kimmy jumps in it and says, why are you debating an expert, basically? And all I can think at this point is that Kimmy better have this same smoke for Maurice and Marceau, because they are two peas in a pod, okay? And at the end of the day, this is exactly who she needs to be directing it to. But you guys, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will check you all on the next one.